Alright, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode here on Sharkstalgia, where I talk about all things 80s and 90s in the form of modern era comebacks. Now, in the world of Power Rangers and Super Sentai, this could get a little bit confusing because it seems to be that we have an update in regards to the actual Power Rangers name here in the US, but the Super Sentai we know by Toei Productions or whatever that was called, they basically concluded the 50-year run of Super Sentai as an AKA the Japanese version of the Power Rangers. Um, and so I know this can get a little confusing, but let me see if I can break this down as easy as possible. The people up in Japan who created Super Sentai, they've been doing quote unquote Power Rangers for over 50 years. So this year in 2025, they confirmed that Super Sentai, aka Power Rangers in Japan, has come to an end. It's over, and they are now working on a new project called Project Red. So basically, that means they're going to focus on revivals, possibly of older Japanese like Super Sentai shows, and then utilize Red Rangers, and then do like a cross path interdimensional storyline like MCU inspired. And so they're going to try to see which Red Ranger from different dimensions or different shows or different whatever is, it's not like a whole group of, colorful heroes. It's more just a Red Ranger. So they want to focus more on that, and that basically left to a conclusion of, or a for like a an open-ended question of like what's going to happen to the actual term Power Rangers here in the US. Well, according to some information that popped up at least yesterday or even the day before yesterday, so at the time of making this video, it is December 6th. So it appears that Disney Plus has officially confirmed that they are developing a reboot series of Power Rangers. Now, this does not necessarily mean that it's going to be Mighty Morphin, because this is basically, like I said, a reboot series. But this is where it gets really challenging, because for those who grew up watching Power Rangers in the 90s and, following the years after, we're all aware that Saban had used footage from the Super Sentai, Japanese footage of the Power Rangers when they were in the costume, and then used the American actors when they were like at Angel Grove and all that other stuff. But with Japan, or even the Toei Productions, ending all the Super Sentai series, this basically means that the US does not have any footage to run off of anymore. So we've seen the comeback of the 30th anniversary of this wallpaper that you see right here. We've seen the comeback of Power Rangers when Billy returned, the original Zack returned. We had Catherine from the third season of Power Rangers, and then even Rocky returned as well. So they did a 30th anniversary where Rita kind of killed off the Yellow Ranger, and it's like its own story. So that was like a whole review I did on a different channel. But anyways, so we've seen what American productions can do in the sense of having Power Rangers continue because there is a strong fan base. So with the American productions not having any Japanese footage to fall back on, the big takeaway from this new series is that they are, if I have it said correctly, it's basically a fresh reinvention. It's potentially revisiting Mighty Morphin themes, but with an all new suits and Zords, focusing on 5 teens transforming into heroes. This will be exclusively for Disney Plus and probably Hulu. But again, the thing that I find very fascinating is that they are not relying on past Super Sentai footage. It's entirely new visuals for suits and Zords, and the reboot is stated to be very crucial because they want to know if the name Power Rangers can thrive here in the US alone without falling back on the success of Japan. So that makes it extremely, extremely, nervous for me, just because as a huge Power Rangers fan as well, um, And of course, they switched the storylines to kind of fit the American demographic, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't need to over explain that. But we know that American productions kind of have a hard time with utilizing too much CGI, falling back on too much technology, whereas the original Power Rangers we've seen, it was mostly, with some lightning effects here and there, they utilized animatronics very well for the Zords. And of course, the costumes were the big, incentive of watching the show, because when you see them, the Zords fighting, you obviously know it's someone wearing a costume, but at the same time, it just added so much aesthetic to it. And on top of that, the sparks when the Power Rangers get hit by swords or any type of blast effects or whatever, that's what made Power Rangers, because everybody loved when the sparks kind of flew out of the costumes. And as time grew, they've utilized less and less of that and used more computer graphics, and it just didn't look as appealing as it used to. So the series is basically developing by Jonathan E. Steinberg and Dan Schatz of Percy Jackson. I guess I don't know what that is, but anyways, so it's it's going to be very, very tricky because the filming is scheduled to start in January of 2026 in London, and it should have a release date of possibly 2027. So again, this is a very, very tricky situation because Japan, or at least the Toei Productions, they moved on from Power Rangers Super Sentai, and now it's up to the American demographics to see if Power Rangers can thrive on their own. And of course, that means we know that Hasbro had lost the license to create the action figures at the time being. So this could potentially also mean that if this series does well, we could also get brand new action figures too, because there is a big, big demographic of Power Rangers fans here in the U.S., which means new marketing, new designs, new costumes, et cetera, et cetera. So, and this is again, we're relying heavily focused on American productions, because we've seen from the 2017 Power Rangers reboot film where all those characters look like Iron Man knockoffs. Not really my favorite costumes, but the movie did, it bombed very badly, but in my opinion, the movie was okay. Like, it was decent. Like, yeah, it wasn't anything great of a Power Rangers film, but at the end of the day, they tried to give us like a dark and gritty version of Power Rangers, because for those who've seen Power Rangers know it's like a very light-hearted teen show, but that 2017 movie showcased a dark and edgy version of it. So because this is Disney Plus, can't expect too much, but hopefully we'll see something rise out of it, which also means that the 30th anniversary movie that they released on Netflix was also probably the last time we see like Billy and Zach and I guess Adam, Aisha, Rocky, and Kimberly and Kat, and et cetera, et cetera. So very, very unfortunate, but at the same time, let's give the benefit of the doubt and see how this new series will do. So with that being said, let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll be sure to have more updates, because I'm definitely going to be heavily focusing on this to see where this new series will go. So thank you guys all for watching. Be sure to give a like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in the next episode.